Welcome to Johnson & Wales University and the Hospitality College. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the William R. Tiefel Professorial Chair Program. I would like to extend special greetings to our Charlotte, Miami, and Denver campuses, especially students at our Denver campus where it is, well, let's say very early in the morning. Please enjoy breakfast with Tiefel this morning. Established in 2003 by Bill Tiefel, an industry icon and longtime Marriott executive, Bill has long championed the importance of higher education. In keeping with his lifelong commitment, Bill established the university's first professorial chair. The Hospitality College is honored to be home to this unique chair, which brings industry partners directly into the college classroom. As students of Johnson & Wales University, you have a great opportunity to interact with experienced hospitality executives and to gain valuable knowledge that will guide you towards promising careers. This year's recipient and 8th recipient of the Tiefel Chair is Deborah Marriott Harrison, Senior Vice President, Government Affairs for Marriott International Incorporated. An honors graduate of Brigham Young University, she has held several positions within Marriott since 1975, including accounting positions at Marriott headquarters and operations positions at Keybridge and Dallas Marriott hotels. She has been actively involved in serving the community through participation on various committees and boards, including but not limited to the Mayo Clinic Leadership Council for the District of Columbia and the boards of the Bullis School, the DC College Access Program, and the J. Willard and Alice S. Marriott Foundation. Her extensive knowledge of the company, its history, and its mission, and her strong ties with the community bring valuable experience and insight to Marriott's government affairs initiatives. She has also served on the boards of several mental health organizations, including the National Institute of Mental Health Advisory Board, Depression and Related Affective Disorders Association, and the Center for the Advancement of Children's Mental Health in association with Columbia University. The partnership between Johnson & Wales University and Marriott International is a long-standing one, as they have recruited on campus for more than 30 years. This past February, Marriott recruited our May graduates for the New Voyage program. This is an extremely competitive program, and we are pleased to be a Marriott partner. Marriott International is a global leader recognized for social responsibility leadership, one of the world's most ethical companies, a top employer in China, and Fortune's 2012 Best Companies to Work For. It is rare to have the opportunity to link the past, present, and future of a company. This year's Tiefel Chair provides the link to her grandparents, seizing the opportunity with their hard work and dedication to begin this great business. The present success of her dad and his keen insight in moving the company from its hot shops roots to the hotel sector of the hospitality industry, and the future as she leads the government affairs initiatives shaping the future of the hospitality industry. It is with great pleasure and honor that I welcome Deborah Marriott Harrison as the 2013 Tiefel Professorial Chair.
Thank you, Dean Petrellis, and I'm so happy to be here this morning. It's so great to see all of you and your faculty members, your teachers, and see all of you wonderful students. It was great to be here on this campus this morning. This is the first time I've ever been here, and this morning the dean took me over to the Harborside campus, and I think I gained 3 pounds just walking through the hallways smelling the wonderful food over there. That was a great place to be. I love this age group. I have 5 kids of my own that are between the ages of 23 and 33. I have 2 grandchildren, and I've worked with young people for most of my life, my adult life. I love your energy and your enthusiasm. My family feels very strongly about education and supporting education. We contribute to Brigham Young University, the University of Utah, Cornell, Purdue, San Diego State, and many other universities. We've supported Johnson & Wales since 2000 with giving over $2.5 million in grants for scholarships and the renovation of Treat Hall. We do this because we believe education provides the tools necessary to achieve new heights and provide much leadership in our world. Supporting education is one of the 3 missions of the Marriott Family Foundation. Every day, our Marriott associates welcome 750,000 people to our hotels around the world. Today, I want to share with you our story and a few things that I've learned about making the most of opportunities. I also want to talk to you about having a purpose in your life and career and how that will make you more successful. I've seen how Marriott has grown and has been profitable as a company because we have been faithful to a purpose bigger than just profits. We have developed core values and a culture that I believe gives us a competitive advantage. The Marriott story starts with my grandma and my grandpa. My grandfather was born in a small town in Utah. He worked as a farmer and a sheep herder. He served a Mormon mission in New England, and after he was finished, he stopped in Washington, D.C. on his way home. He was impressed with the city. He also saw how hot and humid it was, and he couldn't get a cold drink anywhere, and he vowed he would come back. He worked his way through college. He graduated from the University of Utah and married my grandmother in 1927. On their wedding day, they began their journey to Washington, D.C. in a Model T Ford. There were no interstates back then. It took them 11 days across dirt roads to get to Washington. When they arrived, they opened a 9-stool A&W root beer stand. That's where the cold drink came in. But they knew when the weather got cold that they would go out of business if they didn't add hot food items to the menu. My grandmother, and this is my favorite part of the story, who had majored in Spanish in college, got up the courage to knock on the Mexican embassy door. She charmed the chef, and he taught her how to make hot tamales and chili. They added hot dogs and hamburgers and called their little place a hot shop. There was no kitchen in that first hot shop, so my grandmother would make the food every day and walk it over to the little root beer stand. So she was the first chef. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. Before Ray Kroc and Dave Thomas were flipping hamburgers, my grandparents were selling hot food fast. They continued to grow their restaurant business until 1957 when they opened their first hotel. It was called the Marriott Twin Bridges Hotel. It's located next to Washington Reagan National Airport, but it's no longer there anymore. My dad started working for the company in 1950 as a soda jerk in the Salt Lake Hot Shop, where he was going to college. He was a real go-getter like his dad, and before he knew it, he got his first promotion to the deep fat fryer. After he graduated from the University of Utah, he joined the Navy, and he served for 2 years as an officer on the aircraft carrier, the USS Randolph. It was there that he learned his first lesson in customer service, when he accidentally starched the Admiral's pajamas. The Admiral was not happy. In 1957, we opened the Marriott Twin Bridges Hotel. 3 months after opening the hotel, it was struggling. So my dad asked my grandpa if he could take over the latest venture. My grandfather said, "Well, what do you know about hotels?" And my father said, "More than anybody else around here." So my dad became the first GM. Keep going. Sorry. Now, 57 years later, we have over 3,800 hotels in 74 countries. Last November, I was giving my dad a report on the new hotel that my husband and I had visited that was under construction in Dubai. I came back and gave him a report, and we started reminiscing about how far the company has come from that little root beer stand. When I think that we started in Washington, D.C. with 9 stools, and where we are now, we have hotels in some places that you probably have never heard of, we were simply blown away. Let me give you an idea of what it's been like for my father to run a global hotel company. A typical day starts at 8 a.m. at our corporate headquarters in Maryland with a video conference call to Hong Kong. At 9:30, he'll talk face-to-face with our new Middle East president based in Dubai. By 11 o'clock, he'll be getting the business reviews from our European team in London. At 1 p.m., the Ritz-Carlton executives, which is our luxury brand, will be in our boardroom for their business review, and at 3 o'clock, he'll hear from the Americas team. It's like going around the world in 8 hours. It's fun, but it's also exhausting. My dad always said that his philosophy of business was more. I guess he got what he asked for, because last March, he turned the CEO reins over to Arne Sorensen, who's now our new CEO. In explaining to his assistant Phyllis that the company had become too big and complex for him at the age of 80, she said, "Well, it's your fault. You made it that way." One thing hasn't changed. My dad's favorite thing to do is to visit our hotels and shake the hands of all of our associates. He generally sees 200 to 300 hotels a year. We are not allowed to use the R word in our family. He is definitely not retired. I was privileged to interview him at Cornell a year ago. I asked him what kept him going at his age. He said that his passion is creating opportunities for people. That's at the core of our culture and values. We are all about giving people opportunities to shine and move ahead. We pride ourselves on promoting from within and cross-training all of our associates in our hotels. We have 150,000 associates in our managed hotels, another 150,000 in our franchise hotels, so 300,000 people wear a Marriott name badge every day around the world. We have some incredible hotels around the world and are developing even more, especially in China and India. And we just opened our flagship hotel in Dubai in February. And you'll see some of that in this video that we're going to show right now.
Hello from the dazzling JW Marriott Marquis Dubai, the world's tallest hotel. An amazing feat of architecture, the towers were designed to cut through the futuristic Dubai skyline like the trunks of a palm tree. It's a sight to see whether it's daytime or night. In so many ways, this hotel represents where Marriott International is positioned as a company, right at the crossroads of the world. There are 9 world-class restaurants with Middle Eastern, Indian, Thai, French, Italian, and American cuisine. We have more than 1,000 associates from all parts of the world serving our international guests. 2012 marked the first time that 1 billion trips were taken by people who traveled outside their borders. It's an amazing milestone, but in the next 10 years, we're confident that number can double to 2 billion, with the rising middle classes of Asia, Africa, and Latin America, who all want to see the world. If last year's performance is any indication, Marriott International will be ready to welcome them. Here are some quick highlights. We added 27,000 new rooms around the world, including the first AC Hotels by Marriott in Paris, the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Vienna, the first JW Marriotts in Cusco, Peru, and Panama. We opened our first Residence Inn in the Middle East. The Autograph Collection debuted in Asia, in Bali, with the opening of the Stones. And Bill Marriott met Shrek and welcomed Gaylord Hotels employees, or stars as they're known. Gaylord's 4 hotels in the United States add about 8,000 rooms to our portfolio. In 2012, Marriott's development deals broke all records. The old record set in 2007 was 55,000 rooms signed. The new record is 57,000 rooms signed to new development deals. And 2013 is getting off to a strong start, too. But building spectacular hotels is only half the equation. The other half is promoting travel and easing visa restrictions so that more people have the freedom to see the world. Working with President Obama and the State Department, we are successfully cutting down on the red tape which delays foreign travelers from visiting our great cities and destinations. In Brazil and China, a 3-month wait time for a visa has been reduced to 3 days, leading to a boom in new visitors. Travel and tourism is one of the fastest growing business sectors, and as we grow in new markets, we create jobs and economic opportunity. Behind this growth is an engine of innovation. Whether it's booking hotel rooms on mobile devices, new ways to be productive in meetings like WorkSpring at Marriott, or new designs and brands that cater to the next generation traveler.
Marriott's really doing something new here. A new vibe, it's got a lot of pop, and I think the other hotels better really watch out.
Wherever we grow, Marriott is committed to serving the communities where we operate. Here in Dubai, we've hired young women from Rwanda to train in our hotels. A year from now, they'll return to their home in Kigali to work at our first hotel in sub-Saharan Africa. In Europe, it's job training to ease youth unemployment. In China, it's preserving the water supply through local bee farming and honey cooperatives. In Brazil, it's protecting the Amazon rainforest by introducing new sustainable livelihoods. In the United States, we feed America through local food banks and build homes through Habitat for Humanity. We bridge school to work for youth with disabilities and help them begin careers in hospitality. A great man once told me that great companies have a higher purpose than just making money. That person is our executive chairman, Bill Marriott. Our strong company culture, established by the Marriott family more than 85 years ago, continues to this day to guide our growth into the future. We put people first and serve the world, and that's the secret sauce for our success. During my first year as CEO, I've traveled all over the world, and I'm constantly reminded how well our Marriott culture translates, and how our diverse associates make us the great company we are today. There's a lot to celebrate here with the opening of the JW Marriott Marquis Dubai. The dynamic growth of this region is a preview of what's ahead. I hope you all get to see the world in 2013. I'm Arnie Sorensen, and on behalf of the entire team at Marriott, know that our ever-expanding portfolio of Marriott hotels will be there to welcome you.
We have some incredible hotels around the world. We're opening one hotel a month in China right now. Each is more beautiful than the last. In 2011, we opened the highest hotel in the world, a new Ritz-Carlton in Hong Kong, which rises from the 102nd floor to the 118th floor of a beautiful skyscraper. Also in the video, you notice that we opened that 1,600-room JW Marriott Marquis that I talked to you about in Dubai. It's even taller than the Hong Kong hotel and just 85 feet below the tip of the Empire State Building. Isn't this a great business? These new hotels have come a long way from the Marriott Twin Bridges Motor Hotel, where the front desk clerk worked in a drive-up building, and you would check in. Each room was $8 a night, and they would count the people in your car, and they'd add another $1 per person. And then you'd follow a bellman on a bicycle to your room. But in many ways, it's not that different. The bottom line is, it's about taking care of our customers and our people. That hasn't changed, and it's a very strong competitive advantage for us. You all recognize that it's a brand new world out there. Jet travel has replaced the Model T Ford that my grandparents drove across the country in 1927. And rising incomes in China and Brazil and India, not to mention Europe and the United States, have created millions of new global travelers who want to see the world. As Arnie said, in 2012, the travel industry hit a huge milestone when 1 billion people left their homes and visited another country. Our dream is to have them all stay in a Marriott, a Courtyard, a Residence Inn, or any one of our 19 brands. When we sell a hotel room in New York City to a Brazilian, it's an export. The U.S. is still the #1 aspirational destination for international travelers. In my role as the head of Government Affairs Department, I have worked hard to convince Congress and the White House to get a smarter visa entry system that makes it easier to visit the United States. President Obama launched a national travel and tourism initiative last year. The wait times to get a visa from the U.S., from Brazil, and China were over 100 days a year ago. Now those wait times are below 2 weeks, sometimes even 2 to 3 days, so we're making some progress. International travelers, visitors, when they come here, they also spend a lot of money. The average spend is $4,000 per traveler, and the Chinese spend $7,000 a trip when they come here. This, of course, means new jobs. One new job is created for every 33 people that travel to the United States. Just as important, we know that coming to America changes people's hearts and minds. They literally fall in love with America, and that's good for our diplomacy in the world. Travel expands our horizons and helps us understand each other better. We're at the threshold of a golden age of travel that will create tremendous opportunity and help grow the global economy. Already, travel and tourism is a larger contributor to America's GDP than the automotive industry. And our industry led all others in exports this past year. In a survey of opinion leaders and global travelers in China, India, and Europe, the United States, we learned that people believe that international travel is considered more important than the internet, TV, movies, or political diplomacy at breaking down cultural barriers. 8 out of 10 said that the more people experience other countries and cultures, the more peace will spread. And 96% said travel and tourism stimulates their country's economy. Travel opens doors to a world of opportunity, and that world of opportunity takes place in our business every single day. Many of our senior leaders at Marriott started with the company when they were your age, and they started in operations. So don't be afraid of operations. I wanted to give you 2 examples. Bob McCarthy worked his way up the ladder from his first job as a waiter at one of our restaurants in our hotels when he was in college, and now he's our chief operating officer for the whole entire company. Erica Qualls started her career with our company 19 years ago. She was answering the telephones on the night shift at one of our hotels. Today, she's the general manager of our 1,500-room Atlanta Marquis Marriott in the downtown area. That's what I love about this company. We pride ourselves as a company where the pathway to promotion is open if you're willing to work hard. We are great at cross-training and promoting from within. That's one of the reasons why we keep moving up the list of Fortune magazine's best place to work year after year. Each one of these people is proud to say, Marriott, it's where I belong, as you'll see in this short video.
I was born and raised in Ghana in West Africa.
I'm from Sri Lanka.
I'm coming from Tunisia.
Trinidad and Tobago.
I'm from Russia, from Moscow.
I was born in Tokyo, Japan, and I've been at Marriott for 16 years.
I worked for the Portman Ritz-Carlton Shanghai for 13 years.
I'm working for Marriott for the last 3 years.
5 years. 16 years.
I've been working with Gaylord for 5 years now, and I'm so excited about the marriage with Marriott.
I'm at Marriott because my mother knocked on the door of the Mexican embassy for a recipe for chili and hot tamales. I was back in 1927.
It was the beginning of our global business. My grandmother was the driving force, a true pioneer.
We're a global company and we have hotels all over the world.
So we say Salam alaikum in Arabic, salut in French.
Hello in Russia is privet.
All you have to do is just walk into one of the units and you'll see diversity at its best. You'll see the United Nations.
And of course, hola in Espanol.
Marriott is unique that it's created an environment where people feel special and they're able to do special things.
I'm working on building more Marriotts around the world.
I'm working in front office. I'm a supervisor. As an operations manager, I oversee the front office and the housekeeping department.
I'm the global vice president for the Fairfield Inn & Suites brand.
And I started part-time with no intentions of staying with the company. 16 years later, I guess it gets in your DNA.
I've worked on transactions in the Caribbean, Europe, in Asia, in Africa, transactions that span the globe.
Being part of the family is so important. We truly care about each other and our guests as well as our communities.
We are sisters and brothers. We are in the same big family.
Marriott is one family, so I feel like a family when I'm working there.
One of the things I like most about Marriott is how inclusive it is. It's a great supportive network.
There's one saying in Italian, it says, mondo è bello perché è diverso. That means the world is beautiful because it's different.
Marriott really is all about change and about embracing diversity, embracing newness, and I think you can see it the minute you walk in the building.
Regardless of who anyone is at Marriott, we really are just one Marriott.
I represent Marriott.
I'm Ritz-Carlton, but I'm Marriott.
I am Marriott.
I am Marriott.
I am Marriott.
NHW from Marriott.
I am Marriott.
I am Marriott.
We are Marriott.
And this is where I belong.
Where I belong.
Where I belong.
Marriott, where I belong.
You know, when Mr. Marriott came to my hotel, I opened the door and I said, Mr. Marriott, good morning, welcome to my hotel.
Our success stems from the opportunities we create for our associates and the experiences we help create for our guests. Right now, we're building a hotel in Haiti, which will create 200 jobs and help rebuild their devastated economy. The thousands of Haitian associates who work in our hotels in Florida, New York, and New Jersey were thrilled when they heard this news. With the new Marriott, we're helping that country announce once again that we're open for business. Over 85 years ago, my grandparents created this culture of opportunity, which has changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. It wasn't easy. They opened their first restaurant just before the Great Depression. My grandmother counted the sticky nickels that they earned from the root beer stand every night and entered them into her ledger. But by working together, they grew their business one nickel at a time. They based their hard work on principles established by their pioneer ancestors and created the culture that is the foundation of our business today. We are a company that believes you should, number one, put people first, pursue excellence, act with integrity, embrace change, and serve the world. These are our core values. Even though many things have changed in our business, those values should never change. Culture changes around the world depending on where you are, but these core values should stay the same. Today, people turn to the internet and to their mobile devices to book their reservations and book their hotel stays. They expect high-speed wireless internet in their rooms and in their lobbies. Our brands use Facebook and Twitter to engage with our guests. We are working hard on trying to attract the next generation of travelers, which are you. Not only do we want you as our customers, but we also want you to work for us and be in our industry. You are our future leaders. But the basics remain the same, and that's taking care of people and delivering memorable experiences for our guests. We want the guests to have a more effective business meetings, and it's also about providing great food, a superior sleep experience, and public spaces to gather in, to socialize, to work, and have fun. This is a great business, as I said before. One suggestion I have that I've already said is to not be afraid to start in operations. I have a son who graduated from Harvard Business School 2 years ago. He currently is the front office manager in the Boston Copley Marriott. And I want to stop there for just a minute to talk to you a little bit about what happened last Monday. Our hotel in Boston is a block away from the finish line of the Boston Marathon. First, I want to say how sorry I am for all of the victims and all of the people who were hurt or lost their lives. But my son was one of the senior managers in the hotel that day. It was a holiday and most of the executive team was out. 3,000 traumatized, terrified, and some bleeding people came into his lobby because there were not very many places that were open at that point. His staff, I need to commend the hotel staff. They took care of all those people, calmed them down, gave them first aid, got them to their rooms safely, and then finally the SWAT team and the police came and took over the hotel. After they had calmed everybody down by that evening, they fed everyone a free buffet dinner. Those are some of the risks and some of the things that happen when you are in the hotel business. And I do want to commend all of the people up in Boston who work so hard to take care of all of those, the people up there. And I'm so glad that that crisis now seems to be over. But my son, after graduating from Harvard, his friends would come to the hotel and they were astounded to see him in a Starbucks apron or cleaning the rooms. And they said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I am learning the core of our business." And he's been gaining respect and credibility from other associates, and he loves operations. At headquarters, the business has become so complicated and specialized that not many general managers are holding the top positions anymore, which is really a shame and it's something we're working on. I would suggest that if you start in operations and become general managers, you will make yourself more valuable in the future. People ask me, what's the secret of the company's success? And I would say, it's our story, it's our history, and it's our culture. My grandfather had a motto in all of the hot shops kitchens, which said, if you take care of the employee, they will take care of the customer, and the customer will come back again and again. Here is a simple way of summarizing our success. M is for more satisfied customers, more opportunity for our associates, more return for our investors, and of course, more hotels. A is for ask. Hire people who are smarter than you are. Ask a lot of questions and listen. Almost all of the great ideas in our company have come from our team. If leaders had not been willing to listen and act, we would not be the company we are today. R is for respect. My dad set the tone and has no time for arrogance. There are no big shots in our company. Be humble, respect others, regardless of their backgrounds, and you will have an unbeatable team. The second R is for recognition. Recognize people for their accomplishments. My father writes hundreds of personal notes of appreciation and thank you notes every year to our associates and our customers. He tries to say thank you as often as possible, and we all should as well. I is for innovation. We were the first hotel company to develop a guest loyalty program, the first to develop and acquire multiple brands. We have 19 of them today. Just last month, as a matter of fact, we launched a brand new brand in Europe called Moxie. Our innovation continues with more exciting lobbies, guest rooms, and leading technology. O is for opportunity, the driving force behind our core values, and to open the doors to a world of opportunity for all of our associates. It also stands for the opportunity that comes from taking risks, like building our first hotel in Asia in 1989 and starting our many new brands. T is for tenacity. As my father says, success is never final. He also says success only comes before work in the dictionary. And the last T is for time. Don't waste it. Make every minute count. Let me end with one final piece of advice. I know that many of you are concerned about how you will balance your time in the future. My advice is to put your family first, your faith if you have one, then your profession, and then work on bettering your community. I know that you are nervous about this economy and finding a meaningful job. If you can learn a language and be willing to move abroad, that would be great also. Mandarin right now is probably the best language that you could learn. We will be willing to start at the bottom. Be willing to start at the bottom and work your way up. Make your resume stand out by doing something different. One of my sons got into graduate school at a top business school because he spent a summer working in a school in India for the children of leprosy-affected people. He wrote a business plan for them and helped them set up a micro-lending program so that the leprosy-affected could earn money through little businesses instead of begging on the streets. The picture in this slide shows 24 of our family members, including some of my cousins and their children, working with these people in the leprosy-affected colonies in India. It was a fabulous experience. Follow your passion and set yourself apart. Find something that you really love to do, because unless you are excited about going to work each day, you'll just be filling in the hours. It won't be fun, and if it's not fun, you'll have a hard time achieving the success that you deserve. Speaking as not just a Marriott executive, but also as a mom, you deserve all the success in the world. Seize the opportunities ahead of you and build on that success. Thank you so much for being here today and for listening to the Marriott story. Okay, Dean said that there's time if you want to ask me some questions about our company or our business or the government affairs work I do or anything else that you'd like to know. I would be happy to take some questions. Don't be shy. Did I put you all to sleep? Yes. And that's not going to change anytime soon because of security issues. So Europe has eased things up. For example, if you're from China, you don't have to have a visa to visit Europe. So there were more Chinese people that traveled to Paris last year than came to the United States. And that's really a shame. And just to put it into perspective for what it would mean to our economy, by the year 2030, 150 million Chinese people are supposed to be traveling outside of their country. So if we just got 9 to 10% of them in this country, we would have to build new airports, new gates, new highways, new hotels, new restaurants. It would be absolutely incredible. But as far as the Middle East goes, right now it's too much turmoil and the security is too high, so they're not going to be changing those standards anytime soon. Anything else? Yes? I'm not sure I heard the entire question. I'm sorry. You wanted to know about our expansion in China? Oh. One of the reasons why I decided to join? I'm sorry. Can somebody...
Sure, the company.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, so you want to know if an outside family member can be as successful as a family member because it's a family company, basically? Okay, I'm sorry. It's hard for me to hear. Okay.
With the culture, joining the company and the family traditions, what did you find were some of the challenges when you first started and came back into the business?
I was out of the business for a long time because I was privileged enough to stay home and be able to raise my kids. And so I didn't go back to work till about 7 years ago. And being a family member, the culture is the piece of it that is the most important to me. So that was easy for me to fit into the culture. For a lot of people from the outside, it's sort of self-selecting because people know about our culture and know that we try and treat all of our associates like family members. So a lot of people like that about our company, and they self-select to come in. The most difficult thing about keeping the culture is our expansion and our growth. We will have 70,000, for example, new employees in China, and it's very difficult to teach all of them about our culture and the way that we operate. For some people, the culture may be a little bit difficult to get used to, but I've never heard anybody complain about that. That's one of the things that attracts them to our company, and I'm not sure I answered your question. I'm so sorry I couldn't hear you very well. Go ahead. Moxie, yeah. And it's a really unique brand. We partnered with IKEA, and IKEA can build things really fast because it's all pre-made stuff. So these hotels are built with a lot of their wood, and they go up really fast, and they're lower budget, and they're starting in Europe for your people that are in your generation, because they're traveling through Europe, and instead of staying in a youth hostel, you can stay in one of these new hotels, and they're really innovative and updated, and the lobbies are terrific. And people are so excited around the world about this that the Canadians want them, and we're expecting to expand this brand rather rapidly. And it's going to appeal mostly to Gen X, Gen Y, so that's why the X and the Y are in there, which is kind of fun. Okay, yes? Oh, wow. Okay, well, we have Ritz-Carlton, Renaissance. We have a uber luxury brand called Bulgari, but there's only about 3 of those. We have the JW, so I'm going from top to bottom. Then we have the Marriott brand, which is which is our core brand that we're trying to renovate and be more innovative with this year. That's what we're focusing on. Then we have the Courtyards, Residence Inns, Town Place Suites, Spring Hill Suites, Fairfield Inns, Execustay, let's see, the Moxie brand. We bought Gaylord properties last fall, so that added 4 new hotels to our portfolio. And we have a brand new, interesting brand that we've developed about 2 years ago called Autograph Collection, where we take iconic hotels that are sort of one-offs, and they pay us like a franchise fee. And those hotels are able to use our reservation systems and all our distribution systems, so it's increased their revenues by 30%, and our rewards customers get to use their points to go to these hotels, these iconic hotels. Like in Las Vegas, there's a new one called Cosmopolitan. The Algonquin in New York, some of those kinds of hotels that have been around for a long time are now part of our system, and so our customers can take advantage of that. And you asked me, what's the most profitable brand? If you're an owner of a hotel, you want it from the investor side, the most profitable brands are limited service properties like Residence Inn, Town Place Suites, and Courtyards. The brands that we love the most are the Ritz-Carltons and JW and the Renaissance brands. So, yes. We need event planners. That's one of the key things in our hotels. And I've known a lot of young people that have gone into event planning, and I think you really do have to be young. The hours are long, and you're working really hard, but lots of opportunities there. And from there, you can move into sales. You can move into all sorts of areas in the hotels, and a lot of our managers started out in event planning, in the event managers. So it's a great place to be, especially when you have lots of energy. Yes? Well, we are really excited that so many Chinese are studying here in these hospitality schools. Cornell has an exchange program also in Singapore, and they have a lot of Chinese students as well. And we're really happy that you're getting educated here and that you're going back. You'll have a lot of opportunity to work for, especially the Western hotel brands over there. We hope you'll choose us because we need you. Like I said earlier, we're going to have opportunity for 70,000 new associates in the next few years in China. The other interesting thing is, and this is brand new, is our foundation is partnering with some of the hospitality schools that are currently in China. And we've partnered with San Diego State University because they were already doing this, and they're on the West Coast. And they are working with some of the hospitality schools in China to create new curriculums, to bring their curriculum up to speed, to be like Johnson and Wales, to train people over there. And so we're really, really excited about that opportunity because we can't get enough young people trained the correct way to work in our hotel. So you will have tremendous opportunities over there. If you want to give me your card later, I can make sure that somebody over there knows who you are so that you could apply for a job. We have some of those beautiful hotels in the world over there. They're just incredible. Where are you from? Where in China? Okay. All right. So, yes, back there. You know, that's more of a cultural question. It's really interesting. We used to live in Hong Kong. My husband speaks fluent Mandarin. And we have visited Hong Kong, Japan, China the last 4 years. In fact, we're going again in June. And over there, the wedding business is absolutely huge. And so in all of our hotels over there, we actually have a separate wedding chapel, and we cater a lot to weddings. The hotels in the United States and outside of Asia just have normal ballroom space, and we don't specifically cater so much specifically to the wedding business. But I mean, we have lots of weddings, but it's not as deliberate as what we do over in Asia. Anything else? Okay.
Thank you. On behalf of Bill Tiefel, I'd like to present you with this as a remembrance of today. And again, we're privileged and honored to have you join us here today, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining us today. This has been wonderful, and we have a few minutes if you want to come down and introduce yourself, and thank you.